We saw in the last episode that God created a world that's split between heaven and earth. Heaven is the place of God's dwelling, and earth is where man rules under God. God's purpose in human history is to unite heaven and earth. Ultimately, the New Jerusalem will descend from heaven, and there will be a new heavens and a new earth that are combined and joined together. And that's the mission of humanity. That's the mission of the church as the new humanity. That mission is to bring the influences of heaven, where God dwells, down onto the earth so that God's will is done on earth as it is in heaven. And one of the key ways that we do that, one of the key ways that we access heavenly power and heavenly wisdom and heavenly life is in the liturgy. This is a theme of Calvin's sacramental theology, his theology of the Eucharist. In the Eucharist, we're called to lift up our hearts, and we lift up our hearts to the Lord. That's a call to ascend, and worship is always an ascent in the Bible. Worship is always involves an animal ascending as a representative of the worshiper into God's presence, or in Revelation, John ascending into the heavenly worship service. Every Sunday we gather together. We don't just gather on earth, but we gather together so that we can ascend into heaven, and having tasted the things of the age to come, having tasted the heavenly things, then we can go out from this contact with heaven out into the earth and heavenize earth and carry out the mission of the church, which is the mission of humanity.